Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my OG, got me locked in on cup though. got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though. Cocaine in my nose, got rose in my cup though. Started climbing my pole, she got me locked in on cup though.
Everybody, welcome back to PSGL. George Morgan here and Jack Canat. All the lights are currently lit here on track, and it is go, go, go! Donoso with a crafty manoeuvre up the inside. Masterclass from the Chilean.
Crucial championship points on offer here.
Do not count out Danny Berezne.
Longe has done the job. This is for the win between these two.
Freddie Rasmussen wins the United States Grand Prix.
Alfie Butcher wins for the first time ever. Lucas Blakely takes the championship. It's Barry Foreman.
Jarno Opmeer is your champion. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to PSGL. We are here on a Thursday afternoon for some more PCF3 action. I'm back in the commentary box. My name's TK, and alongside me, as always, is the wonderful Alex Heron. Alex, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Apart from the fact that I'm having slight issues with my Steam at the moment. We're motoring through, but yeah, it's also very hot in the UK today. It's been very hot this last week, but we've had a storm coming in, so it's clearing away the weather, unless you're TK and you haven't had a storm come in just yet. So
it's
going well though.
Unfortunately, still very hot down in the southwest of the UK. You can probably tell by my hair; it's a little bit crazy at the moment. So we're going to roll through it at the moment. We're going to just pass on by it. But we're here for round number 4. Of course, the Spanish Grand Prix, 33 laps of racing action. But more importantly, Alex, and one thing that I think is important to share with our viewers, we're back in the proper cars.
Yes, we certainly are. We are back in the regular Formula 1 cars. No more F1 World. It's been determined by the higher-ups at PSGL and by people that have been testing the game that it has been allowed to use the real cars. Some people are upset about that. Some people aren't. I personally, as a broadcaster, am very happy that we are back in the regular cars.
Very much so. Not only is it easier to track where everybody is on a track map, also it's just nice being able to see all the sponsors glow in all their loveliness. But we're almost ready to go. Before we do that, should we go have a look at how our standings look after round number 3? So here are your standings after round number 3. It's Richard Sprogis that leads in the Sauber. 2 victories back-to-back in rounds 1 and 2. And unfortunately, 11th place out in Austria last time around. Ben Marple's chasing on 1 point behind. And Tony Hightaler, the highest place reserve at the moment, is doing rather well for themselves, wouldn't you say, Alex?
Yeah, doing very well for themselves. Sitting in 3rd place right now with obviously 4th. Did not start in a 1st. I mean, that's pretty good, isn't it? Only, 7 points off the top?
Yeah,
very close indeed.
Stuff. Obviously, everyone still being able to score points. As Nathan Rich said in chat, there is no stream for F7 today. F2, 3 and 4 being streamed on the channel. Of course, we're here at the moment, and F2 and F4 will be coming in about 55 minutes or so you can tune in for them as and when you please. We'll run back to the of course, Spanish Grand Prix. A very historic track here, a fantastic one, and personally one of my favourite Grand Prix.
Yeah, I mean, since the recent changes to the circuit as well, bringing back the old layouts, allowing, you know, more overtaking opportunities down the main straight, it's given opportunities to create good racing. Some people don't like the changes, not naming any names, Josh. But you know, some people like myself and probably TK do like the changes to the circuit.
Very much so. It makes the corners a little bit faster, a little bit flowing, and it's always fantastic to see. Before we head into our qualifying session, drivers just getting themselves prepped and ready. Let's go remind ourselves of what is in store for this Grand Prix. Let's have a look at the track map. So here we go then, 2.8 miles, 14 turns round the Catalunya in Spain. Long straight down towards turn number 1 and lots of opportunities for overtaking for drivers. I think it's going to be a fantastic one here, Alex.
I think it really could be a cracking little race here this afternoon. I'm really looking forward to seeing what these guys can do. And yeah, I'm just get into it. Just get straight into the action.
Well, speaking of getting into the action, should we go ahead and join our drivers in qualifying as usual, ghosting on this afternoon just to aid in any slipstream woes that may have arisen over the last kind of few weeks, and that is why you'll see a lot of the cars ghosted on your stream. But Tamas is the driver that leads us away in qualifying. Lots of drivers choosing to follow him.
Yep, a lot of drivers going for it. Obviously, the slipstream is a little bit overpowered, as we found out in recent testing of the game. So it's now got to a point where we need to just make sure that it's turned off and secure. So Tamas going for his first lap here. And TK, would you like to take us through that first lap of Tamas?
Well, let's do that indeed. The V-Carb now heading around the final corner, getting themselves prepped and ready with 16 minutes left on our qualifying clock here. 2 minutes already gone in the session, and down towards turn number 1 they go. Heavy braking zone for what has been a majority fast-flowing corners in this Spanish circuit. A little bit of a lock-up on the right front there for the V-Carb, but through the first few corners they go. And Big Connor, sorry, Connor coming in chat, I read his name as Big C, coming in chat saying it's nicer to see the normal cars and icons, and I cannot agree more. Round the right-hander we go in this V-Carb with all the logos on once again. And it is their teammate just behind them. But Tamas continuing on, albeit a few lockups for our drivers, lockups for himself as they head down towards the left-hander and first of the essential DRS zones on this track for themselves. We ignore the start-finish straight for now. Round the right-hander, and that DRS opens on the rear wing here, Alex. It's looking so far so good for the V-Carb driver.
It certainly is. Only one more sector to go. Very big lockup there on the left front as he's whipping it around to the left and then obviously whipping it back around to the right, keeping the acceleration on, then get the power on. Of course, holding the accelerator down for this right-hand corner, and one final corner to go, completely flat in this qualifying session. He does it brilliantly. DRS wide open, crosses the line, and goes for a 1:11.2 to start off, and Ben Marples instantly beats it with a 1:11.1. Lap times are only going to get faster here, TK.
They are indeed. You can see in the track map in the bottom right-hand side of your screens, almost everybody out on a lap at the moment. If they're not, they're on an out lap. Gabriel Quintino being the last driver out to start their flying laps, and the times will start coming in thick and fast here this afternoon. We ride on board with the Williams of Danielle rounding the final corner. Where can they put themselves on this qualifying leaderboard? P14 at the moment, but look at how close the times are, all within half a second.
They certainly are. They're all very close together, and that is what we want to see. We want to see close racing, and I mean, at the moment, it's very close indeed. That's the sort of racing we expect around a circuit like this.
Yeah, absolutely right. Fast-flowing corners is the DNA behind the Spanish Grand Prix. Richard Sprogis making it a 1-2 for the Saubers at the moment. Angelo and Richard himself, P1, P2 respectively. It will be Keanu Luntart next across the line. That's only good enough. Let me try and find it for P15. But then Gabriel Quintino, who we said started their lap a little bit later, will be the last driver across the line. Banker laps, of course, coming in here this afternoon, getting themselves prepped and ready. Still a long time to go in this qualifying session. What's the strategy behind it? Do they all go out like they did once again, following each other through the corners, or do we see a slightly different strategy from some of our drivers on play?
I think you've got to go for maybe a slightly different strategy. If everyone's going for doing the same thing, you're not going to go any faster, are you? Especially with no slipstream. So maybe if you want to get yourself a little bit of space, try and go for a different sort of lap. I mean, this sort of circuit is kind of like. It's going to sound like a bit of a weird comparison, but bear with me here, TK. But it's kind of like Austria in a way where you can do very, very close lap times because, to be honest with you, there's not really that many heavy braking zones. You know, there's what, maybe 2 around the entire circuit.
Yeah, absolutely right. Turn 1 being one of the heavier braking zones, and then down, I believe, into turn number 10, that left-hander being another of those areas on the track where the brakes get a nice workout, as we watch on board with Gabriel Quintino in P4, just skipping across some of the curbs, maybe trying to find some lines for their next run.
Yes, it certainly is looking decent okay so far, but he's about 1.7 seconds down. I think going back into the pits at the moment. Sorry, I am watching, but I'm also troubleshooting at the same time, everyone. So that's what I'm currently trying to do. So I'm doing both. I'm a multitasker.
Well, if we know one thing about you, Alex, it is that you are indeed a multitasker. Drivers just coming into the pit lane on with the Red Bull, and it will be some drivers heading out for their second or third laps here. Harry Lay now leading our drivers out for essentially laps number 2 of this Spanish Grand Prix circuit. The Alpine just behind him, that will be Zach Miles. So the 2 SRC teammates going 1 and 2 in run number 2.
Yep, they certainly are coming down once again to do their outlaps. So right now it's Angelo who's sitting on provisional pole with a 1:11.0. That's a really good lap time to start off, isn't it? We were very impressed with Angelo, haven't we, so far this season so far.
Yeah, some fantastic driving from the Kicksauber driver. Of course, back when we had the world cars running, it was slightly harder to differentiate who was in what car. But Angelo, always one of those drivers that pulled it out the bag, had a good race, no matter, even if they found themselves slightly lower down the order from where they maybe imagined at one point.
Yeah, they're looking good so far. Is Mr. Harry going to start? Is it Harry? Sorry, it's slightly blurry on my screen. Harry going
It
for
is
another
Harry,
lap.
yeah.
Thomas Baldwin going for another lap though. Sorry, Thomas Baldwin left the session unfortunately. Hopefully he can get back in.
We've had a couple of those. Thomas Border, and I believe it was. I'm trying to find the name now. It's already gone off my screen. Another driver having similar issues as they left the session a little bit earlier. But nonetheless, we'll focus on what we do have at the moment.
Aha, I fixed it! Sorry, everyone. it's not about fun, but going in.
For those of you who might have just joined the stream and heard Alex celebrating at the top of his lungs, he was having some issues getting the game started on his PC. But nonetheless, we're here, we're ready, and hopefully we will have himself in the lobby so he can commentate on live action instead of my screen share in Discord.
Yes, sorry if that was loud, headphone users, everyone listening. But basically, the issue was today. About go to major detail. Is Steam removed my drive that had all my games that are bigger than 50 gigs installed onto it. So basically, I had no games that I need on it. So it's all good. It's booting now. Hopefully, everything will boot fine. Because we know F1 24 is a quality video game where it boots, so it's all good.
Of course, one of the best games out there at the moment, according to all the journalists, of course. And Harry Lay comes across the line, improves up to P2. Fantastic stuff from the SRC driver. Just behind him will be Tamas Kovensky up to P3.
Well, I mean, those are 2 drivers that kind of deserve their seat. Someone that deserves their seat. Race, though. Look at that. 1:11.048. Whew. Brilliant lap time. And Linhart goes second fastest as well. Ben Marples goes top of the timesheets in the RB there. Brilliant lap time into the 110s already. And then going, it doesn't improve. Well, it does improve, but not improves up to the top. Normally, that any other qualifying session, that's pole position.
Yeah,
1:11.0. So it's ridiculous, really, isn't it? But I mean, it's nice to see an RB up there at the top of the top of the standings. Where's the Red Bulls right now? They're in 9th and 17th respectively.
Yeah, not gone too well for themselves. 2 Haas cars come across the line. Giovanni, my apologies, staying in P18. Keanu Lunter up to P12. And across the line, I think that was Danielle up to P10. Yes, it was. This is what we love to see. I can finally start getting the correct cars on the track here, Alex.
Isn't it great? Isn't it lovely to see those things? I'm going to join off of UTK, so that fixes that problem.
No trouble.
The game has booted completely fine. If everyone was curious about it, as we know, this is, as you said, TK. All the fans have said it's a quality game. Oh, Gabriel Quinton, a man who deserves a Red Bull seat, has not been left in there by Liberty Media.
Exactly that, across the line in the Red Bull racing car. I actually have no words to respond to what you just said there, so I'm just going to let that one sit with our
Am I allowed
audiences.
to say that?
Idea.
Let's just go with it, I guess.
Oh,
It's
look,
all good.
Deathling 10 has joined. I wonder who that could be coming to race this afternoon.
Oh, it's only a rumor. Don't worry. I'm jumping in, everyone. Going in for the last Q3 laps. It'll be nice. I don't know why I was doing this so stupidly. I was watching I have you on my massive monitor on my right hand side, but it's such a strange resolution that everything's like really blurred, so I can't really see what's going on. But now I can see. I could have just put it on my main screen, but no.
Oh yeah, I had to
I
run it
was,
at 720 because otherwise the stream upload just dies on me. So
oh. Well, I
that's
was determined
yeah.
to get I was determined to get it fixed so I could see it from my front perspective. But now I can, so that's good to know. Ugh.
Amazing stuff. So at the moment, Larry Tulki, I'm going to assume I pronounced that wrong, heads through the final corners. It's purple sector 2 according to the game at the moment. We'll take that with a grain of salt as they round the last couple of right-handers. But most people in the pits all coming out for another preparatory lap. 7.5 minutes left on this session. If you are in chat, let us know who you think is going to take pole position here this afternoon. We'd love to hear from you, and we have got you up on our screens having a little look.
Did not improve that final sector, did Mr. Larry Tukey. Didn't manage to go. He said purple. What, purple middle sector? Didn't manage to get purple final sector. 3/10 separate the entire grid here, TK. From 20th to first is mental.
Yeah, absolutely insane. 0.363 of a second. As you can see on your screens at the moment, you can see the complete breakdown from the leader. And it is absolutely insane numbers. The top 5 separated by less than a tenth.
Ugh. Mental stuff. You don't get that in modern day Formula 1, that's for sure.
You normally don't, although I'll tell you what, Belgium at the weekend, we did see a very close finish amongst drivers, but hey-ho, we are ready to go racing for PSGL F3 here this afternoon. And actually, at the moment, the grid is a Red Bull sandwich.
A Red Bull sandwich, and we're not going to make any mention about Red Bull drivers on this stream. As Thomas Lammerton coming up to the line now, is he going to get close to his teammate here, or jumps from last to 8th? That's how close this grid is, TK.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff. I mean, anyone's game at the moment. Zach Miles coming across the line to start one of their hot laps. I think it will be Daniel Kuja. No, it won't be. It will be the other Aston Martin coming across the line. Race to start their hot lap. It's trying to now figure out who's on a lap and who's about to start one.
Well, I can tell you, Rehards has just put himself third fastest there. Well, for a split second before Ben Marples goes third fastest there in the RB. People are improving. Thomas Baldwin, I think, did he jump up to third, or is he going for his last lap now? No, he just finished his lap because he's run out of ERS. So this lap is so short, you can get 4 push laps in.
Yeah, absolutely right. You were mentioning Thomas Baldwin. He jumped up to P2. That's what knocked Rihard's progress down. Across the line comes Angelo, though. 1:10.920. Takes provisional pole position straight away from Gabriel Quintino.
It's an absolute cracking lap from Angelo. I was thinking of, all of these commentators have like their favourite term that they use. Like, Crofty's got, lights out and away we go. Brundle has his stuff that he says, I need something. I need a word that's mine to say on stream.
There's a lot of words out there. You've got to find the one for you.
Is there something I say a lot on stream? Because we know Mackie's. If you've watched Mackie commentate, you know what his is.
We introduced him to it last week, didn't we?
Yes, and he hates the fact that he says it now. He's genuinely terrified of the word if he hears him say it. I need something. I feel like there's something I say on stream a lot, but, that's not controversial as well. That'd be great.
Well, if anyone in chat has any ideas for Alex, let him know in the chat. McLaren of TS Korsman comes across the line just above of the other Korsman driver in the lobby at the moment, Yelte in P11. So these two battling it out for pride amongst the family, what I can only assume here this afternoon.
I would assume it's family, isn't it? Otherwise, it's a massive coincidence that they both have the same last name.
And been placed in the same tier.
Yeah, I mean, that would be very, very coincidental. But yeah, I hope it's a bit of a brother rivalry, maybe. Or maybe a father and son. You never know.
You never know. Well, it could be the first sim racing father and son lineup that we've had as Gabriel Quintino jumps up to P2 once again. Comes across the line 1:10.947.
Will Gibson's confirmed it. They are brothers.
Lovely.
So that's good to know. TS Korsman and Yelp Korsman. So the first brothers on the grid since TK.
Oh, you're
Who
not
was the
gonna
last?
stop putting pressure on the air, man.
Who was the last brothers to race in Formula One together?
Oh, you know what? I'm going to ask chat. There we go. I'm phoning a friend.
Phone a friend. Do you not want to ask the host, Jeremy Clarkson?
No, because normally knowing you, if I ask you, you tell me the wrong answer.
I'm not Jeremy Clarkson.
Okay, what's the answer, Alex?
I think it's Ralph and Michael. No.
Well, we've had some conflicting information now in the chat. Nathan Richards has come in and said it's father
Yeah,
and
but
son Korsmans.
You've got to remember it's Nathan Richards, and the man likes to speak out of his,
Yeah, you can say the same about the person that gave the first answer, though.
That's not true.
I don't know him personally, but
Christian says the Schumachers. I thought it was the Schumachers.
yeah.
I think it's Michael and Ralph.
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh well, we'll wait and see. 2.5, well, pretty much 2.5 minutes left in this qualifying session this afternoon. Ben Marple's the only driver out on an outlap at the moment. I'm fairly sure we'll see
Going for it.
the rest of the 19 come out of that pit lane within the next 30 seconds.
So Marple's given himself a nice little bit of space here. Obviously, I know they're all ghosted in the end, but ghosted cars are still a big distraction for you. And I don't know if it really affects it. Oh, he's backed off already. Is he going to go? Is he going to wait? Interesting. I wonder what the plan is there.
I wonder if it's maybe a double outlap. He's definitely recharged that battery through the first couple of corners, so I wonder if he was hoping for a completely free track and he quite didn't get what he wanted.
Yeah, well, hopefully he can get it now. He has actually come out next to his teammates, but slipstream doesn't matter.
Very true. Of course, ghosting in operation, which means we will have a short break between the qualifying and the race here this afternoon. But yeah, no slipstream in effect, of course. It's been deemed too powerful by the powers that be.
To be fair, it is quite powerful.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, I remember last year, the entire year, we were just saying how powerful slipstream was, and then somehow they made it even worse. So,
But as
or
we like to say,
better.
it's not a bug, it's a feature, right?
Exactly. Get your mugs. Can I say that? Probably not.
I don't know.
I'm going to not say that
No.
because legally I don't know what I can say or not. This is why I don't do these bits, TK, because it usually goes wrong.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything to that degree, but hey, we continue with the stream. Welcome to F3, everybody. If
Welcome
you
to
are
F3.
new, we're winging it since 1999.
We certainly are. This is why I don't win Commentator of the Month.
Anyway, should we commentate some laps here in the last 50
yes,
seconds?
Tamas is going for it. He's up by 0.003 of a second in that first sector. Currently sitting in third place right now as he's trying to get to, well, what is Angelo's lap time. And you want to beat your teammate as well. Obviously, beating your teammate is #1 in Formula 1.
Yeah, exactly that. You want to beat the rest of the grid, but first and foremost, you want to beat your teammate.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of drivers that actually tend to do quite well in Formula 1, but don't always have the measure against their teammate in a lot of situations. But Tamas, purple middle sector there, his lap time that he improved on is enough to get in pole position. Kubo has retired in the first sector. I think he's actually had an off in that first sector. Don't know what's happened there, but here comes Tamas. He's coming around the final corner now. Someone's pulled into the pits. Sixton and Thomas Baldwin pulled into the pits. Here comes Tamas to the line. Is it pole position? It's provisional pole for Tamas in the RB. Improves by 1/10 of a second, but there's still challenges from behind. Zach Miles cannot improve his lap time. Neither can Harry. Neither could Danielle. So it's now down to one of the Alpines coming up next. I think that's Sixton Linhart go around the final corner. Can he take provisional pole here at Spain? No. Doesn't improve his lap time at all. And we're waiting on the next. It's Richard Sprogges who goes on top of the timesheets there in the kick Sauber. But it's down to Angelo. Can he dethrone his teammate? He's been mighty in this qualifying session. He crossed the line now. Oh, and he misses out on improving his lap time by 0.003 of a second. He's third only. So Tamas is not improving. He's down by a second. That's it on him. Gabriel Quinton to the line next. Can he take a provisional pole? No, he misses out as well. And I think that's it on lap times. TS Korsman does improve to 10th, but Richard Sprogges has got pole position here.
Yeah, almost guaranteed. Unless Race can pull anything out of the bag. Nope, he's into the pit lane. So it is Richard Sprogges, our championship leader, that takes pole position here by 0.003 hundredths of a second. That's how close the times have been this afternoon. Tamas coming in P2, and then Angelo in P3. So it's been a good day at the office so far for the Kicksaubers. Gabriel Quintino, who went on a slightly alternate strategy in the first round of qualifying runs, finds himself in P3, and we'll run down the rest of the order in a minute. Unfortunate there, and one thing I want to mention, unfortunate for Kuba, obviously that off down at, I think, turn 2, turn 3, as I looked on my track map. Unfortunate for himself.
Yeah, did he? Was it a crash or did he just go off in the first sector? Did anyone see it? I didn't see what happened. So that was a shame. That was a real shame for him because it kept him 18th as well, so he didn't get to improve his lap time.
Did indeed. But Rihard Sprogis, well, chat saying what is Rihard doing in F3, and promote Rihard's, in my opinion. We're just the commentators.
Just want to point out, Rehards wasn't here for a lot of last year because of a certain thing that went on. So if you guys want him promoted, that's not on us. You got to talk to the powers that be. All right.
Exactly that. Let's run down your top 20 then. Rihard Sprogis and Tamas take your front row. Angelo and Gabriel Quintino, 3 and 4. Rayson Sixton Lintar, 5 and 6. Zach Miles and Thomas Baldra, 7th and 8th. T.S. Korsman and Yelte Korsman line up 10th and 11th here this afternoon. And the best of the rest, Keanu Luntar, Harry Lay, Danielle, Daniel, Marcel, Thomas Laminen, Kuba, Giovanni and Larry round out your top 20 here. And we're going to go back to our lovely faces. There we go. So we've got a brief intermission whilst the lobby gets reset and all those shenanigans.
Yes.
But I tell you what, Rihard's fantastic qualifying lap from himself.
It's very true. He did do a fantastic qualifying lap, but what caused him to do such a fantastic qualifying lap here, TK?
Wow, I'm sure he's got a certain rig, he's got a certain chair, if I remember correctly. Oh, I know what it is. Well, I think that explains that. Drivers are just getting themselves reset in the lobby. All the stuff in the background it is on my other screen, but they're all just retiring, getting themselves set and ready. But yeah, always good to hear from our sponsors at GT Omega.
That's what we want to hear. We want to hear about them. It's great to see. Obviously, I've got my comfy chair here. GT Omega gaming chair was kindly given to us by GT Omega. So it was very nice. Obviously, only the pro commentators have them. That's what it is.
Yeah,
so.
Unfortunately, I don't. So
one day, TK, if you keep working hard, mate, you'll get there one day. That's what it is. Been in the business 10 years, but he's still getting there.
How old do you think I am? 10 years ago, I'd be 14.
Oh, that's true. 10 years ago, I would have been 12.
That made me feel old for a second there, but hey ho.
You're only 2 years older than I am.
Yeah, close enough, right?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
But yeah, let us know in chat who you're thinking is going to win the race. I think a few of us have our sneaky suspicions. It might be one of the Kicksaubers, potentially. But yeah, let us know in chat who you're rooting for, who you're here to view, and who you're expecting to win the race. Yeah, I think regardless, it's going to be 33 laps of action around here.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be fantastic. I mean, Spain is always good. Random weather is still on, by the way. It's still random weather, and we have seen wet Spanish Grand Prix before. Most notably, off the top of my head, Michael Schumacher's first win in the Ferrari in 1997.
I don't know, so I'm gonna assume right.
Or 6.
Close enough.
I think it was 96.
Sounds
97.
Right.
97 was No, it was 96. 96.
Well,
Again, I'm sometimes good exposition for certain things. So,
Will coming in
oh,
chat saying it's going to snow. Trust.
well,
Well,
that did happen. It
well,
did
yeah,
happen once on testing in 2016.
yeah, it did
He
snow.
says under his breath, knowing
But
the dates.
whilst it is not snowing here in the UK at the moment, it's 29 degrees in my room
Oh
because my
God,
fan displays
yeah.
it. So don't forget to hydrate. That is what I'm going to say. It's a warm summer's day, especially
I don't
drivers.
even
If you're watching, keep
I
drinking.
don't even have a drink. That's bad.
Poor error that.
It's a real error.
I've
I was
actually
going to
got
get
2
one.
drinks.
I was going to get one before the start of the stream, but then I had issues with Steam, so I had to fix that problem.
See, I've also got my my favorite mug that I'm not allowed to talk about.
I wonder where you can get those.
Not a clue,
Find out.
unfortunately.
Find out tomorrow.
On another note,
Do you
this
think
could be our last PSGL stream if
could
we
be?
keep on like
But
this.
yeah, I mean, Josh is going to pull me aside later. Tell me. Especially after that Checo joke. I mean, that's just
I
that's
don't know what you're on about. The
that's
slightest.
definitely me gone at all. That was it. I'm never entering Mexico again.
Do you want to go back and have a look at the drivers' standings here, Alex? Just while we
Yes,
got some
that's a
downtime.
great idea. Let's move on this conversation. So the Giants' standings it's genuinely still very close. Only 3 rounds in, of course, to this 12-round championship. But of course, the way the PSGL point system works is it allows all these drivers to be very close together. And we talk about Rihard's having 2 wins on the trot, but he finished 11th last time out. TK.
He did indeed, of course. Didn't have the best performance out in Austria. I wasn't here for it. It was yourself and Mackie covering on the stream. But I did try and tune in where I could. Of course, it was Tony Hightower taking the race victory, followed by Ben Marples. But yeah, some fantastic points clawed back from 2nd and 3rd place.
Yeah, it was a cracking race. I think Rahad's actually finished 5th in that race, but I think he had a penalty after the Grand Prix due to obviously incidents that was luckily dealt with by our stewards team, who are fantastic. They're really good. So not farther than son. TS was my teammate in a fun league for 3 years. I'm 45 years older than him.
So wait, is this whole thing just shenanigans?
Shenanigans.
We have had shenanigans this early on a Thursday evening, Alex. We cannot stand for this.
I don't stand for shenanigans.
No, I only sit for
that's
shenanigans.
That's where I draw the line. Well, we're actually getting into the racing soon, and it's dry by the looks of it.
It is for now.
For now, it is bone dry. I'll keep an eye on the general chat to see if we get any
information.
Any information. Apparently, there's a couple of people with a black screen.
Things we love to see, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. 2 people actually have got black screens at the moment. Turns out. Yeah, there's some lovely features going on at the moment.
Yeah.
Actually, it's fine. Josh isn't watching. He's playing Elder Scrolls, so it's all good.
Glad to see our head of commentary is so invested in his streams.
He's definitely still watching and has heard me say that, so it's fine.
He's got it up in the background.
He's just writing down notes for he's not getting commentator of the month.
Well, I don't think you were ever in the running, but
that's outrageous.
Maximilian Luckhart in the chat. Now easy, soft start. I think that is very true. You've got to be nice and careful this turn one. VRL Andy ironically says VRL League, which makes a lot of sense considering the prefix on his name.
It does. That would make a lot of sense. So let's just see if people can get in. Hopefully, apparently one of the black screens have gone, so hopefully it'll work. But we actually got 5 red lights here,
Take us
and
away,
the
Alex.
lights are coming on. And are their lights going to go out? And they certainly are. We're underway here for the Spanish Grand Prix as Ben Marples has already retired on track, as so is Cooper. And I think we're having a lobby restart here.
I think we are.
I'm going to say probably.
Considering 12 of the drivers, now 13, 14. Yeah, we're definitely going for a lobby restart here. I've taken us back to our cameras because who knows what's going to happen on track when lobbies restart. Will Witchell in chat. Track limits pen from Rihard's last corner demoted him from P2 to P11, I believe. That is how close it can be. That is insane.
Yeah, it was you missed a fantastic race in Austria as well. Wheel to wheel battles every other lap. It was cracking, as they say.
It is one that I am very disappointed to have missed. It's always a great battle, Austria. Short circuit, really fast, really flowing, heavy braking zones. And yeah, really, really sad to have missed it.
Yeah, well, you're here now for the rest of the season. I don't think we're going anywhere. Actually, joking apart, I was actually thinking about the calendar the other day. Are we going anywhere for? Because that could be a real problem for a headache problem for a few people.
Potentially.
No, it's not a problem. It ends before.
I might miss a couple of them just because of work commitments, but
Honestly, doesn't commit full time everyone to commentary. Can you believe that? It's like it doesn't pay him any money.
Fake talk. Okay, where's the real
Fake
one?
what?
Where's the real Tartle
Where is he?
today?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, so there might be a couple of ones that I missed. You might have Mackie back in. You might have someone else back in.
Mackie's always around.
Mackie's always he's that guy that you can call on an evening and go, "Do you fancy commentating a race with me?" And he'll go, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, exactly. And like last week, I asked him, "Would you want to commentate?" And I said, "Yep." And then I also made him run the stream as well
How
at the
dare
same
you?
time. And he literally could have said no, and I would have done it, but he just said yes, and I was like, "Fine, you go for it."
Alex only runs streams when he fancies it, apparently.
Well, I mean, I literally said to him, "If you don't want to run it, it's fine." But he said, "Ah, it's fine, we'll run it, so it's all good." Hi, Rehards, how you
hello,
doing, mate?
Rihards. Talk right.
Some
What now? He's in
you say
chat.
his name wrong.
What, Richards, hello. Well, I don't know where you wanted me to go with that. Time to bid it. Well, now you're in chat. Talk us through your thoughts of starting from pole position. We wait for his response because obviously there's a slight delay between when we say it and
delay.
chat. Rihards went
too
T
bad.
tier turn 4.
Is that a response to starting on pole?
What, the tongue out emoji?
Do you just start? Yeah, every time I start a race, I make sure I have my tongue out just in case.
It is a sight when you see it.
It really is. Can't see it under the helmet. That's what it is.
Yeah, me when I go karting, I'm sorry. I don't know if any of you've seen Deadpool 3, and I don't want to spoil it. That dog with
oh god, yeah,
with the tongue out.
Fantastic film. If you haven't already seen it, get to say. I was saying to my mate the other day, it's probably I'd say a 10 out of 10 Deadpool film, an 8 out of 10 Marvel film. But it's a great. Yeah, I think that's the way I describe it.
3 out of 10 Disney film because they probably are trying to sue Ryan at the moment.
Yeah, well, apparently they let them all through. Apparently, according to
according to him, I want to know the ones that didn't get through.
Yeah, apparently there wasn't many.
No.
Apparently, like all of them were thing. Apparently, I was reading one that he did. Apparently, they recorded a short about Deadpool finding Bambi, the guy that killed Bambi's mum.
Oh no.
And apparently Disney went to him and said, "Bambi's sacred, so we can't do."
That's fair. We've got a question from
thing.
chat for you. Where's the book?
The book? Oh, what, the fact book?
Oh yeah, we could bring up the facts book.
It's always on my desk. Great 300 Grand Prix facts.
Well, we've got probably 10-15 seconds before we go
into I'll find a good fact. Okay. Hang on. I'm sure you'll love.
I'm gonna go to the race screen just in case we start. But you find a fact
good
for us.
Plan. Where's the good fact? Oh, right. Here's a good fact. Each year, a whopping 33 kilometers of safety rails are set up.
Damn. What a fact we have this afternoon. And that's why you come to PSGL stream, and you get all the facts.
Yeah, you get all the facts. I bet you didn't know that one. You go tell your parents.
I thought it was only 30 kilometers.
Yeah. Did you know that chin straps must also not stretch more than 30 millimeters when subjected to 38 kg of stress?
I didn't.
But we've got 5 red lights here. As we are ready for another start here at the Spanish Grand Prix. We're underway, and it's a good start from Rehards Progress as we race down towards turn 1. And he's got an excellent start, but Angelo is under pressure from Tamas, who's on the inside. Braking late into turn 1, they go wheel to wheel. Tamas on the outside, Angelo on the inside, and we race up towards turn 4. And everyone is keeping it nice and clean through the first couple of sections, but Riyad Sprogis has kept the lead of the Grand Prix race. Up the inside though, on those soft tyres, beating the hard tyre runner. The hards have got no grip on these opening couple of corners, really struggling to warm them up here is Tamas.
Yeah, there's bodywork flying off all kinds in the background here. There was collision between, I think that was Sixten Lundtart. He's managed to spin round in the first couple of corners. He went for a bit of an over-optimistic move, but we'll have a quick check on the tyres as we head through. And it's soft tyres for the Aston Martin and the Alpine of Zach Miles. Hard tyres for a couple of runners, but the majority choosing the mediums.
I mean, the softs are an outrageous strategy here, TK. An absolute outrage of a strategy. The chat are going wild at the thought of soft tyres being the start of this race. They are not going to go any further than, what, 6 laps in? But here we go. Race has decided that he's going to go for a little bit of a change of strategy here. And down the main straight, I think they're going to be under pressure here. The Kick Saubers completely rip up the rule book as we race down towards turn 1. And Race has taken second place on those soft tyres, as well as Tias down the inside on Gabriel. Is he going to take 5th place? Take 6th place, and he is. He's up into 6th.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Fantastic moves further back. Chat might have questioned the soft tyre choice for our drivers here this afternoon, but Race and Zach both making them work 3 positions in 1.5 laps of racing. Although some of the drivers, Tiesman coming in chat saying not cooking on the strand. That's a mistake from the Aston Martin there. Race onto the grass.
Oh, and he was almost under pressure there, almost a bit of ghosting through the middle of the pack, but didn't make it work. Yeah, as you said, chat thinking these races are only going to go for a couple of laps. These tyres are only going to go for a couple of laps, but DRS is enabled now, and I think Race could be leading this Grand Prix by the end of lap 3 here.
Yeah, absolutely right. If he can get the last couple of corners here, absolutely perfect. He has the traction by the looks of things. You can see how much speed he's carrying through, but look how much battery he's burnt already, almost about 30% left in that Aston Martin tank. Rounding the final couple of corners now. Can he make a move for the lead of this Grand Prix?
Well, here we go. DRS is enabled. He's going to use the battery. He's going to go for it. Of course, he's got fastest lap, but fast laps are changing. Is he going to get close enough? Is he going to go for it? Riyad Sprogis is going to lose the lead here at the Spanish Grand Prix down the inside, and Race takes the lead here on lap 3. And that was a simple move. And this strategy has worked at the start of this Grand Prix, but surely it's not going to work later on. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. We're only on lap 3 of 33. I think that soft tyre, TK, indicates to me that they've committed to a 2-stop.
Quite potentially here this afternoon. Bear in mind, Zach Miles starting on it as well as he rounds the left-hander. He's in 4th place, eagerly trying to get past Angelo in P3. The 2 Kick Saubers could be a bit of a sitting duck. Hard thought about a move there into the left-hander, but rightfully backs out. Will Gibson saying it's not a 2-stop. Don't be toast. You never know what can happen here.
I love a 2-stop, Will. I love a 2-stop. Try and do a 2-stop. Come on, someone. Got to have the. I can't say that word. You've got to have the bravery to do it. as Zach Miles is closing in on these Kick Saubers here for 3rd and 2nd.
Yeah, question is, how long will the tyres last? It's soft, hard, medium, hard, or hard, medium, according to the chat. Paul Yelte as well coming in as they've dropped down to P18, joining their teammate down in 17th and 18th place. Keanu Lundtart sets the fastest lap of the race. And I think Rihard Sprogis might want to take the race lead back. And Angelo trying to slip through as well, round the outside into turn number 1. A fantastic double move from the Kick Saubers there to retake the race lead.
And isn't it nice to finally see teammates actually being teammates on track? Isn't it great? Instead of actually trying to work out who's who. It's brilliant. As we see the 2 Kick Saubers working well together here with both passing Race. To be fair, I'll give it to Race. Obviously, he's got that lead on the start, but he will get probably a run back down the main straight. Maybe the soft tyre runners will use them together. I suppose sitting in this massive train, I don't know how much it wears the tyres, actually.
Well, that's the question we're asking Timon in chat. We will do soft, apparently. I'm assuming that's
I'd like to see you try.
Race and Zach Miles. So we'll see. Of course, I believe that's the SRC engineer in the chat. So we'll wait and see what happens. It'll be an interesting strategy nonetheless for some of our drivers as Sixten Lundtart gets past Ben Marples for P9 slightly further back.
Yep, I'm keeping an eye on this front battle because this is the most intriguing one with those soft tyre runners. But I was surprised how quickly Tamas fell through the field on those hard tyres. But TK, I've always said, haven't I, how badly the hard struggle at the start of at the start of races. You just drop like a stone if you can't get them warmed up early on. And I think Tamas is going to lose another position here, as Keanu's going to have a great run here into turn 1. He's going to stick behind. The race lead has changed though. But Race, finding his way around the outside, brilliant stuff. Just watching that on board, and he's actually going to make that move stick, running up through that right-hander. Zach Miles has got to run as well down the inside. Is he going to get Angelo too? And Rihard Sprogis has taken the lead, but his teammate is currently sitting in fourth. But Zach Miles has the outside line, and there's a bit of moving under braking, but not too much. And Zach's still fighting this one. They're still wheel to wheel through the middle part of this circuit. Who's going to break later? And it's Zach Miles as he moves himself up into third. Angelo got royally messed up there in that first couple of corners.
What a fantastic move from the Alpine there. Held the move, but potentially it wasn't on anymore as they headed through the first couple of corners. And yeah, fantastic stuff. We saw almost the teammates of Rihard Sprogis and Angelo come together down the main straight trying to defend from the Aston Martin of a race. But fortunately, Rihard Sprogis managing to hold on to the lead of the race as we round the final couple of corners to head on to lap 6 of 33.
Great battle there between the two RBs of Tamas and Ben Marples. But yeah, returning to the battle for the front of the grid. Here comes Race again. Is Race going to take the lead of the Grand Prix? Once again, he certainly is. Gabriel Quinton thinks about it as well. So much battles going on at this front pack. We've got, what, 4 different constructors battling for the top 5 right now. Technically 5 if you want to count with Tias as well, battling behind them, Keanu. It's brilliant stuff to see. Gabriel going to fire his way around the outside here of Angelo. It's going to be a bold and brave move if he can pull it off. I think he's a little too far back on this occasion. And fires it around the outside there, Angelo, looking for that move on Zach Miles. Zach Miles is just going to gently close the door. And maybe that was a little bit of rubbing and racing, but I saw nothing wrong with that one, TK.
Yeah, a little bit aggressive on the exit, but I'd say it's fair game between the two of them. Zach Miles just defending that position, but I think there's been an instant further back as Harry Lay and Danielle Frenelli dropped down P14 and P15 respectively. Sixten Lonhart is making moves as well up to P7 ahead of Keanu Luntart. Fantastic battle between the two of them as well. The Alpine trying to join their teammate up towards the top of the grid.
And Angelo's still trying to battle back here on Zach Miles. Up at the front, Rihard Sprogis is right on the gearbox of Race, who's currently leading this Grand Prix. It's going to be a simple 1-2 for Rihard Sprogis, who moves himself back up into back up into the lead of the Grand Prix. And Zach Miles using that slipstream effect to try and close in on our leaders. And I wonder how much those soft tyres are already struggling here on lap 7.
Indeed, then it won't go much longer into this race. We were told that dirty air will hurt the tyres as we head through this Grand Prix. So, of course, the soft runners actually might be in a bit of an advantage. If they can wear down some of the medium runners behind them, they'll have the pace advantage and they will have the grip advantage, at least in the earlier stages of this race. But the question is, how long can they hold these softs on for?
Angelo made a little bit of a mistake there. He caught way too much curb on the inside. I understand what he was trying to do, but he had too much curb, almost bottomed out on the bottom. It opened up the door for Gabriel Quinton. But yeah, when do we expect these soft tyres in? What, lap 10? Lap 11?
I'd say no longer than lap 9, probably, for most of our drivers. The move made further back as Sixten Linthart dives down the inside, trying to make a move on Tiers Korsman. It didn't pay off this time around, but maybe, just maybe, that Alpine is showing that he is indeed in the mirrors of the McLaren as we head round the final couple of corners once again. That McLaren will have to be careful.
Yep, and something else I should mention, those hard tyres have still not warmed up for our hard tyre runners. They are not really making their way through the grid as I expected. As here comes Race, look how far back he is, and look at the move he's just made, and he's taken off to the lead of the Grand Prix once again. I say that as soon as I say the hard tyres aren't running, Yelp Korsman sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, but he's a bit further behind, isn't he, TK? Sort of clean air.
Exactly that. He's down all the way in P16 at the moment. He's got a little bit of free air towards Harry Lay up in P15, but at the moment, that Ferrari on the hard tyre really starting to make them work. Ben Marples getting past Keanu for P8 further back as well, as this front pack really starting to battle it out amongst themselves. The difference in tyres really starting to come alive.
I think there's a train and it's called the race train and that's what it is right now at the front of the grid. These soft tyre runners are causing this quite magnificent DRS train that's going on right now. And as soon as I say, TK, the anti-commentator's curse, they're not working the hard tyres and they start working immediately as I say. It's down the inside. go Sixten Linhart. He's looking for a little bit of a gap here on TS Korsman. Are they going to go wheel to wheel through the final section of the lap? There's still wheel to wheel. Oh, just squeezed out there, Linhart, but he thought about sticking it around the outside, and that is somewhere you don't want to be doing it on this racetrack, but it's so brilliant. Oh, he almost lost it there on the inside curb. Look how many cars are battling. This is 13th place down to P1 right now. That is the gap between everyone. And Zach Miles is going to take second place here away from Race. He's jumped up into second now, TK. As Angelo is pushing the soft tyre runner of Race through this section.
He is indeed a fantastic double move by Rihard and Zach Miles. Race getting a bit of a sitting duck moment down the start-finish straight. No DRS, of course, for the Aston Martin drivers. We head through the first couple of corners round the long right-hander here. Everyone, no one starting to settle down as it looks like Ben Marple's trying to defend or attack Gabriel Quintino here. He has the inside line, but maybe not quite enough straight line speed. TS Korsman having to defend from Sixten Linhart once again for P7. It's the Alpine trying to hold it around the outside. The outside very quickly becomes the inside, and the Alpine surely has the move done.
Brilliant stuff from Sixten Linhart up the inside and takes the corner. He's back up into 7th, and now he's going to carry on his charge for these front runners. But Rihard Sproggis leads by about 0.6 of a second. One of those soft tyres are really starting to struggle now for our soft tyre runners, but obviously that DRS is so powerful down the back straight. They'll probably catch up to the back of them. Angelo right on the back of Race though, and he's having so much more grip now on those medium tyres. You can just physically see it on circuit. That's how much more grip they have. As Zach Miles a bit too far back to challenge for the lead of this Grand Prix, and I think he is, TK. I think Race is running a lot of straight line speed here because he is really catching even when his opponent in front has DRS.
Yeah, absolutely right. The Aston Martin running a really low downforce setup here this afternoon, but look at this, the Kick Sauber practically pushing the Aston Martin through the corners here, and it's going to be a dive down the inside for Gabriel Quintino, looking for a move on, and Angelo for P4. Couldn't quite make it this time around, but the Kick Sauber will have to be aware there's contact between the Aston Martin and the Kick Sauber. It's the rear kicking out for Race. There's contact once again as Angelo loses the rear of his car. They've ghosted amongst each other at the moment as they go through the left hand and now into the right hander, and it will be the Kick Sauber who uses the ghosting to his advantage. He's up to P3.
I don't know if that was a little bit of a touch, or maybe it was just it looked like a rear lockup to me, TK. I don't know if you were watching on board with Angelo, but I think Race just had a little bit of a rear lockup and absolutely almost lost his rear end. But brilliant racing once again between the cars. They are all battling for position. This is fantastic stuff here at Spain. We're only 10 laps in. I mean, if we're going to get this quality every single lap, that is what we want to see. But Race now trying to close down on Angelo. Some comments going on in chat that I won't respond to because that is down to the stewards and not down to our choice at the end of the day. But it's fantastic from where we're watching. Oh, Race so late on the brakes now, going straight into the back of the Kick Sauber.
Yeah, that straight line speed on the Aston Martin proving absolutely crucial for himself at the moment. Apologies for the double camera switch rather quickly. Gabriel Quintino having to defend from the V-carb just behind him, but he wants to attack the Aston Martin. He sends one down the inside, locking his front tyres. He's gone round as he couldn't control the car, and that's a number of positions that Gabriel Quintino will be losing as he tries. Once again, he's lost the rear locking of this Red Bull, not going his way this afternoon. He's down to P10 here, Alex.
Overheating tyres, locking up tyres, and ambition ahead of adhesion there. Just was never going to make that move stick. And that was a silly opportunity for Gabriel Quinton. He's paid the price for it. He's dropped down the field now into 10th. I think what basically happened is he went offline. He's now dropped down to 11th. There's Keanu down the inside. Gabriel Quinton going to get run out wide here, but they still go wheel to wheel here. Is Keanu going to fire it all the way around the outside? And no, he cannot. Stays where he is. But yeah, I think what happened there, TK, was he overheated his tyres, locked up once, and then locked up a second time. TS Korsman in the pits there. Little bit of an early pit stop for the medium run. Has he got damage?
Well, interesting call from the McLaren driver. We wait and see what happens. We'll have a quick check back in the moment as we see Zach Miles trying to defend from Angelo at the moment down his turn one. That Kick Sauber is knocking at the door, but at the moment, nobody's answering.
No damage reported on TS Korsman. That is just for a fresh set of tyres. I think the undercut is the plan. Oh, Gabriel Quinton, what is going on with your rear end, sir? Just watching it on board there, completely out of control through that rear end. As down the inside goes Kuba. I saw a little bit front wing flying as Daniel Ferrari almost loses his Williams there. It is all kicking off here in the midfield pack and towards the lower end of the field.
It is indeed. Drivers starting to get impatient as we approach kind of halfway through this Grand Prix. It's anyone's game as to who's going to win it, though, and it is anyone that can possibly end up on that top step. We can just remind ourselves of the tyres here this afternoon as we watch Sixten Longhart once again going for a move on race for P5. He has the inside, but that will very quickly become the outside as we head around the right-hander. Do those medium tyres have enough grip on them? The answer might be yes this time around, and yes it is. Sixten Longhart is up to P5.
And both soft runners in the pits here. I think this was their planned pit stop anyway here for the soft runners. But I got to be honest, I think they're also having a look at that TS Korsman pit stop, because I guarantee you a lot of people were surprised at how early he pitted. But now it's down to Kick Saubers in the lead. Just having a look at Zach Miles here and race, see what tyres they're going on.
Well,
both going on to the mediums.
Sorry to interrupt you, there's been contact between both Kick Saubers. It was Richard Sprogis and Angelo that came together as they headed through the first couple of corners. Richard Sprogis losing out positions, hand over fist. Angelo inherits the lead of the race and slows down to what I can only assume to allow his teammate back past. But this is causing carnage in the mid-pack. It's Tamas Caventi that takes the lead of the race here this afternoon. Sixten Longhart up into P3. Richard Sprogis taking P2 back. But what is happening? It was an initial collision between the two Kick Saubers that has caused all this chaos, and now the field is definitely shuffled.
So the Saubers collided as we're going to see another move here from Thomas Bolger. He's going to fire his way around the outside of Sixten Longhart. So a little collision between the Saubers, and one tried to let the other one pass, and I don't think they realised how close the entire grid was, and everyone went into one corner at once, and it almost went all chaos incarnate, and it actually did in a sense. As Thomas Baldwin now up into third, people in the pits, Angelo in the pits, who else is putting into the pits? Keanu into the pits as well. It is all kicking off here on lap 14 of the Spanish Grand Prix.
It certainly is. If you are new here, this is exactly the sort of racing we see in PSGL F3. Maybe not the carnage, but definitely the competitiveness, as we see Tamas Bulger trying to make a move here on Tamas in P2. The V-Carb tries to hold it around the outside on the harder tyre rather. The two drivers go wheel to wheel. T.S. Korsman setting the fastest lap of the race, but the Williams and the V-Carb still side by side, and Thomas Bulger up into P2. That Williams starting to make moves, but Richard Sprogis, interestingly enough, on the medium tyre, still in the lead of this race.
Still in the lead of this race. And as I mentioned, didn't I say, TK, about the TS Korsman pit stop? I think that did scare the soft runners a little bit because TS is now split Miles and Race here during the thing. The undercut did work brilliantly, and I think not only were they planning that pit stop there, but they were slightly worried about the TS Korsman pace.
Yeah, I think exactly right. I wonder if T.S. Korsman will be able to get past Zach Miles, though. That's the important question he will be asking, and take some deficit out of that 14-second gap between Zach Miles and Marcel up in P8. But now our front 8 drivers will be panicking at their own strategy. Do they go in? And it is indeed into the pits. Richard Sprogis, a hard runner, staying out. Thomas Bulger will inherit the lead of the race.
A lot of people in chat very happy with the TS Korsman, well, what they're calling a masterclass now on strategy, and I honestly thought it looked like a good strategy. Where are they going to come out in relation to Richard Sprogis and Sixten Longhart? That is what I'm, interested in right now.
Well, exactly. I think. Oh, there's the hat on further back, Giovanni. Surely.
Oh, and he's off. He's off in the background, and he's going to have to recover now. Don't see exactly what happened there, but I'm sure TK can inform us. Richard Sprogis has come out behind T.S. Korsman and Race and Zach Miles. He's now down into 10th. And Angelo is wheel-to-wheel with Sixten Longhart out of the pit lane here. And this is a proper wheel-to-wheel fight for position. They've both made their pit stops. Keanu wanted to get involved in it as well. And Angelo just getting in front of Longhart. And he's made that move stick. But it was very close between the two Saubers as well. That could have been absolutely catastrophe from Sauber if they all collided, but on this occasion they did not. They do not want a second collision on this Spanish Grand Prix. But the undercut is working for TS Korsman. The soft tyre runners, of course, are on the mediums. They're going to go to the end of the Grand Prix, I believe. But the hard tyre run of TS Korsman will have better tyres.
Yeah, you're exactly right. It's the soft tyre whisperers, Zach Miles and Race, that decide to go long on the medium tyre as well as we head into lap 16 of 33. Just approaching half race distance here in the Spanish Grand Prix. And as you said, we almost saw a repeat of the teammates coming together, as it is Giovanni, who went off at the first couple of corners. It looked like he lost all grip in the hard tyres that he had. I think he was running hard tyres. No, sorry, medium tyres. He ran them long and unfortunately lost any grip. Into the wall he went, and he lost a bit of end play on that Haskar. Race indeed setting the fastest lap of the race as we see some pit stops starting to happen, but Race is past Zach Miles.
Which is currently net race lead.
Indeed.
as it stands. Race, obviously, if you're curious, if you're new to Formula One, welcome, or to PSGL. Net race lead, of course. The guys in front of Race have not yet made their pit stop, which means they still have to pit and will come out behind Race. So Race right now is your provisional race leader, followed by Miles and T.S. Korsman. Riyad Sprogis not making the time up on those hard tyres I expected here, TK.
No, not as well as we thought he would be approaching. Bear in mind they take some time to warm up here this afternoon, and bear on P9 is still a good spot for him to be in. He's got some softer runners running in front of him, so he's got to be cautious of not over-driving the car and forcing himself into a mistake.
Yep, certainly true. You do not want to be saying that. We got our first hard tyre runner in the pits here, TK. Yelt Korsman is in the pits. Clearly taking a tip from his his brother slash teammate slash I don't know exactly. Oh, I don't think it's a wanted pit stop because he's changing his front wing here, TK.
He is indeed. New front wing for that Ferrari. Maybe that's caught up in the carnage earlier on in the race. We saw front wings fly, and I did indeed see a Ferrari one go off in that lap one carnage. But Zach Miles retakes the net race lead here this afternoon. The Alpine driver and both SRC drivers, just one behind another. But T.S. Korsman, who of course pitted earlier than pretty much everybody else, is right on the back of those two, 6 and Lundart. About 3.94 seconds off this front three pack.
Yeah, because he's got ahead of Riyad Sprogis, who is really struggling to fire up these hard tyres here, TK.
He is indeed. He's stuck behind Sixton at the moment. Of course, he's got Keanu and his teammate Angelo further behind him. He knows that the tyres will be better at the latter half in the races. But of course, in this early stint, it's all about tyre management. How much can you warm them up without overdriving the car?
I mean, that's going to be the real interesting strategy. I'm not sure who's made the right call. Well, we're going to see what those hard tyres pit onto. I assume, surely, it's going to be mediums. They're not going to take softs to the end of the Grand Prix from here.
Well, you never know. Bear in mind, the soft runners did take them probably about 14 laps earlier on in the Grand Prix. So never say never is all I'm going to say here this afternoon. We've seen some wild strategies, and Tyesman saying, I'm never engineering again, or I'm decent. Of course, I believe looking after both Zach Miles and Race this afternoon. So the two of them, they're either going to win this Grand Prix and confirm his suspicions, or we may never see Tyman once again.
Can we just talk about how close those hard tyre runners came out of the pits to that pack that have just pitted? Look at where Tamas is compared to this hard tyre run pack. How is the overcut has almost been so much more successful than the undercut?
Well, I think you've got to remember they're not overcutting themselves. Bear in mind, they're on different strategies from the start. So they were slower in that earlier stint. They could run longer. And of course, when that tyre got up to temperature, they could run their course on it. They're now looking potentially at lower fuel load, softer tyres than the cars in front of them, so they will be able to recover that time in due course.
Well, I'm just surprised how close they were, to be honest with you, TK. I've never seen that work so well in a race scenario. But these are why these are professional drivers here in PSGL. So Ben Marple's coming into the pits as well. Clearly a bit spooked by the fact that Tamas is probably going to get past him as well. Marcel in. So now, Race will take your net race lead of the Grand Prix. Sorry, your race lead of the Grand Prix, no longer your net race lead. Followed by Zach Miles and then followed by T.S. Korsman. So TK, if you're going to make a quick prediction for me here, how's this one going to end?
Wow, the question is, will Rihard and the drivers just behind him, Sixton, Angelo, I say that Sixton actually gets past Rihard Sprogis down into turn number 1. Jelte Korsman, not to be confused with T.S. Korsman, of course, sets the fastest lap of the race further back on the medium tyre. But if you're asking me for an opinion here this afternoon, I'm not normally one to give one, but I think it's going to go the way of an SRC driver, either Zach Miles or Race. I don't think the drivers behind, albeit they're on the clearer strategy, I don't think they're going to be able to catch up unless we see a safety car.
You don't think Mr. Korsman has got this? Tiers, to be exact?
I think it's going to be a close one. It's all about tyre management in this stage of the race.
It certainly is. Tyre management is king around this circuit. It's so abrasive on the tyres, and obviously this year's game, it can be really abrasive indeed. But this has been a cracking, that's my word, by the way, I found, cracking. It's very British. It's been a cracking Grand Prix indeed. I mean, so many battles every single lap. Thomas Boldrin here on these medium tyres, trying to fight it around the outside of Keanu there for 8th place. And I think these medium tyre runners are going to become a factor in this Grand Prix here, TK. I'll be honest with you. If they can get through this train, and I think they look like they're going to. Here goes Thomas Boldrin. He's going to go straight past Keanu there, as Rihards and Angelo both fire past Sixth and Linhart. So the Salvers up into 4th and 5th respectively. And Tamas is now the one challenging Linhart for this 6th place, as the Salvers are very close again together. Are they going to have another sort of collision? We don't want to see that. No one another collision here between the two drivers.
As you said, we saw it a couple of laps ago, and I think it might be impending if the two come together. The two V-Carbs battling further back as well. Ben Marples and Tamas going side by side here.
I've seen this one before. Red Bull battling wheel to wheel, never goes well. Oh, but they let one past, and it's going to possibly open the door to Thomas Boldrin. And that was what we call a switch that's gone completely wrong, because it's cost Tamas a position.
We got a puncture further back for Thomas Laminen down in P20. Got a 10-second penalty as well, but he's got a front left puncture, and he's missed the pit lane entry.
Oh my God, he's currently on the pit straight. His front left is punctured. 18 laps on those medium tyres and a puncture. Is that going to be slightly concerning for our lead runners here, TK?
I think it might be indeed. We could see a safety car here, and of course they will start to catch him up as we head into the lap 21 of 33. You can see the Red Bull at the apex of turn 2, and it will be the Alpine, the Aston Martin, the McLaren rapidly catching him. But Richard Sprogis, I think, has had another move down the inside of Sixton. He lost the position on the straight, but he's immediately gained it back, diving into the corner.
Brilliant stuff, and it's opened the door now to Ben Marples. Can he make the move stick? There's a yellow flag in his sector, but he's still going to go down the inside on Linhart. They are so close together, wheel to wheel. Marples has got the outside line. It's going to be the outside line for Ben Marples, the TES driver, the RB driver, and he makes the move stick in a brilliant little battle. And he's now up into 6th place. Oh, a big lock-up, though, from Rihards. Has cost him positions here because Marples is on the outside line. It's going to switch to the inside for the next corner. DRS wide open. Is he going to go for it here? Surely got to wait for the main straight now.
We say there, it was almost a move down the inside by the Alpine and the Williams. Sixton and Thomas not resting on their laurels. They wanted early moves made, and Thomas and Sixton once again going side by side. Yellow flag still further back as that Red Bull tries to recover his car to the pits, but Sixton just holding on from Tamas, holding on for P8, but he's still going to try and attack Thomas Baldra in P7.
Thomas Baldrin making the move on Linhart. Race and Zach Miles all swapping positions, but T.S. Korsman has got himself in that battle. Is he going to force his way around the outside of Zach Miles? This is a big moment in this Grand Prix as they go properly wheel to wheel, and T.S. Korsman firing it around the outside. The outside line is not the ideal one to be on for this corner because it turns to the inside if he can hold it. He's still holding it around the outside. The McLaren really going for it here, and he goes down the inside and confirms his 2nd place. T.S. Korsman was done playing second fiddle, and now he's up into 2nd place. He's getting in between these medium tyre runners.
Yeah, Thomas Laminen gets a 10-second penalty for speeding the pit lane as well. That totaled 30, and I'm not surprised that we see the retirement here this afternoon. It was a poor race, maybe a poor strategy choice as well, but nonetheless, an early retirement, an early shower for the Red Bull racing car. I'll make no further comment on that. Considering our earlier conversations. But further back, it's the two King Saubers that continue to battle out for 4th place. Ben Marples, Thomas Baldra and Tamas just in tow further behind.
It is brilliant stuff between our leaders, between our 4th and 5th. It's, well, between our 6th and 7th, between our 8th and 9th, between our 10th and 11th. Everyone is so close together. It is maddening. But T.S. Korsman takes the lead of the Grand Prix ahead of both SRC runners. And I think after that puncture from Thomas Laminen down the inside, goes Angelo. Oh, the Salvers touch again! And one of them has run off wide, and he's come back on the circuit, and he's almost taken out Ben Marples. What is it with the Salvers this afternoon? Coming together not once, but twice in the same Grand Prix, and it's going to cost possibly Richard Sprogis a position here, and it has. Ben Marples up into 5th, and down the inside goes Thomas Baldrin, so late on the brakes. They tap wheels together. Is he going to have the exit? He's got the inside line for the next corner. Is he going to take advantage of it? Richard Sprogis going to run out wide, but the inside turns to the outside. For Thomas Baldrin, can't make it stick. But what is going on in that Sauber cockpit? They seem to be wanting to go at each other's throats.
Some fantastic driving further back. And once again,
Oh!
no, down the inside. There's contact between the two of them. Richard Sprogis once again coming out worse here this afternoon. The Kick Sauber has been spun round and is now ghosted amongst Kuba as well for P10. But Richard Sprogis this afternoon has just gone from bad to worse. He's almost dropping out the points here.
And that did not go well. You could see that one coming from a mile back. He was not going to make that work, Thomas Baldwin, and now he's under massive pressure. Oh, a little bit of wheel banging there between these drivers. Is he going to switch to the inside? Oh, so late on the brakes. It's Thomas Baldwin again, but it almost didn't work for him on this occasion. But as you said, Richard Sprogis is dropping down and down. He's out of the top 10, and it's not good for him. But it all came together from, once again, collision between teammates. And that was what caused that problem. Of course, the spin was caused by Thomas Baldwin. That will, I'm sure, be investigated after the session. But, oh, I do think it's just got bad for worse for Richard Sprogis, because I just saw a bit of end plate come off Richard's car.
Yeah, there's definitely end plates missing on the Kick Sauber. Both end plates missing on the Williams of Thomas Baldwin. Yeah, front right end plate there. You can see it on the stream. Missing on the Kick Sauber. I think a lot of drivers in this mid-pack losing parts of their bodywork as maybe the battling got a little bit heated.
I think it certainly has. Yeah, both Thomas Baldwin missing completely, basically both end plates on his front wing. It is really going aggressive here on circuit. And back up to the lead of the race. We've got to keep an eye on this Ben Marples, because he is closing in on our race leaders here, TK. He is going to be so close at the end of this Grand Prix. T.S. Koolsman once again takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Angelo's still battling for this 4th place, even though I think, to be honest with you, those tyres are really going to struggle at the end of the Grand Prix. But what a Grand Prix this has been, and we're not even on the closing stages yet. Lap 25 of 33, and it's still all to play for here as Richard Sprogis gets himself back up into the points. I think that's the best he can hope for this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of racing still to go. 8.5 laps of this Spanish Grand Prix circuit to complete for our drivers, and I think it's still anyone's game who's going to win it. Will Zach Miles and Reese be able to hold on their medium tyres? Will T.S. Koolsman, who went pits earlier than absolutely anybody on this grid, win out here this afternoon? Will the likes of Ben Marples, Angelo or Samas manage to pull back that gap, claw down the distance between the two groups, and put themselves on the top step of the podium?
This is going to be so close, and you've got to remember those SRC guys pitted onto the mediums are the only ones inside that top 4 on very old medium tyres. Lindhart battles alongside Thomas for P7. Lindhart not the one to give up a position so easily, but those punctures for Thomas Lammen happened what, lap 18?
Yeah, lap 18.
What tyres are they going to be on by the end of this Grand Prix? It's going to be close, if not lap 18.
It's going to be close to something like lap 19, lap 20 for most of the drivers here. So it's, I think they'll be quaking in their boots at the moment, Alex.
What we call squeaky bum time here on the PSGL channel, and that is PG, so I can say it. As Ben Marples closing in on Angelo for 4th, who's doing a cracking job in P4 right now for the Kick Sauber, considering he's on the hard tyres.
He is indeed a fantastic driver at the moment. I think Angelo has got to play the conservative game at the moment. He's sat there 1.2 seconds off Zach Miles, and actually that gap considerably closing through the latter stages here, and he can try and push now to catch up to this front pack. If he can bring Ben Marples along with him, we might have a front 5 or even a front 7 in mere moments.
This is going to be a chaotic but brilliant end to this Grand Prix. I mean, this has been so good so far. I wonder if these guys on medium tyres are saving right now, because they are definitely not going full Schumacher, as I like to call it.
I think surely they have to be saving their tyres, of course. It's still a lot of laps left in this Grand Prix. 8 as we cross the line now to go. And that's about 24 miles of racing as we see race into the lead. And Zach Miles diving down the inside as well to get up to P2. They're not out of this race quite yet. Do not count them out, and do not change that channel.
Yeah, do not go anywhere. This is a brilliant Grand Prix, and it's coming to its closing stages, but still a long way to go. Here, we're on lap 27 of 33. These guys have been running on these tyres for 15 laps for T.S. Koolsman, 14 laps for the medium runners in front. But Ben Marples, the man on 8-lap-old medium tyres who did the alternate strategy, who went hard medium, is now right on the back of T.S. Koolsman for 3rd position. This is all going to kick off with a few laps to go. Is it going to be Race? Is it going to be Miles? Is it going to be Tia? Is it going to be Marples? Is it going to be Angelo? It could be any of the top 5 right now, and Tamas is not too far away too. This is all going to start a brilliant chain of events as we go on to the closing stages of this Grand Prix.
Exactly that, of course, as we round the final couple of corners to start lap 28 of 33. Race will take us onto that lap, followed by Zach, followed by TS, and now we have a front 5, and that front 7 looming just further back in the distance with Tamas and Sixton just mere seconds behind our drivers. It's a lead change at the front of this race. Zach Miles and Tears McCorsman trying to get through past Race, and they are successful. There's a little bit of bumping between the two drivers. The Aston Martin wanting to hold on, but
flag.
Gabriel has crashed out in sector 3. Could we see a safety car to end the race here, Alex?
I don't think so. I think we're just a bit too far into it to cause any major safety car. I think he was far enough off the circuit, but that could have been dangerous. What happened there? It's a double disaster for Red Bull as they both retire here on lap 28. Gabriel out, Thomas Laminen out earlier on. Both Red Bulls out of this Grand Prix. We're on lap 28 of 33. Tamas in 7th, Linhart in 6th. Where we got Angelo, Ben, Race, TS and Zach Miles. All of them can still win this Grand Prix. The top 7 still all within a shout. And it's going to be so close. Are we going to see punctures, TK? This could be puncture territory now.
Well, I think that's what we're about to find out. Of course, the last few laps will be right in that range. I'm sure the drivers will have been talking to their engineers, talking through their options. We round the right-hander to start lap 29 of 33. 5 laps of racing to go here in this Grand Prix. And it is still anybody's race to win. Tears Korsman into the lead of the race, the McLaren. And it is going to be a dive from Ben Marple. Surely it is. Down the inside, there's contact between himself and the Alpine car, but can he hold it around the outside? Yes, he can. Ben Marples, what an outstanding move.
He was so far back, and what a move he made. He's up into 2nd place. Diaz Korsman looking in his wing mirrors thinking, thank God I'm not involved in that chaos behind. As Race now losing position after position, but Ben Marples, no, he's got one job in his mind, and he's going for that race lead. Tiers Korsman, who did the alternate strategy, who's making it work right now, who could still stand on the podium, but he's going to be under so much pressure from Marples for this race lead. And the guys that did the medium tyres are still in this, but they are struggling as well.
They are indeed. Zach Miles down in P3 having to defend from Angelo. Angelo might look for a move down the inside, not on this occasion, but I'm fairly certain when we go onto the start-finish straight, we will see a move by Angelo up to P3 in this race. Reese and Sixton and Lundart going side by side into the final couple of corners. The Alpine and the Aston Martin touch. Once again, we've seen it time and time again. There's a little bit of a knock there, and the Aston Martin just holding on.
But here we go for the race lead. It's going to be a simple 1-2, I think, for Ben Marples as he takes the lead of the Spanish Grand Prix. He's made the alternate strategy work, and he takes the lead ahead of Tiers Korsman. Angelo's still running in the top 3 on those 16-lap old hard tyres. Zach Miles trying to close up on the back of him because those medium tyres are in a dire state. Linhart just behind him. Surely Linhart must be thinking on the radio, let's just get these Alpines out of the way. I've got an actual chance of, standing on the podium here, but I don't know if that's going to work. But down the inside, team orders here. Oh, a little touch from the Alpines. And it's an absolute French disaster, as they say, as they are now battling for 4th and 5th. But the Alpines not in a mood to let each other past.
Yeah, massive je ne sais quoi, if you do excuse my French here this afternoon. Sixton Lundart will just have to wait behind his teammate Zach Miles, but maybe not for much longer as he tries to move down the inside as Sixton Lundart into P4 in this race, and the Alpines switching positions. May not have been team orders, but it is Sixton's race now to go and chase down a podium, but I fear it may be too little too late as the gap is 1.7 seconds up the road to Angelo.
Yeah, he's going to be out of DRS for this main straight. There's always a chance that Linhart he gets challenged by his teammate once again down this back straight. Surely Zach Miles is going to close in on him. Oh, he's going to go for it. He is going to look for it. Oh, Linhart defends the inside. Zach Miles finds a gap down the inside, and he makes the move stick once again down the inside. Goes Race. He's defending from Tamas, who's caught on that curve. Will Tamas fire it around the outside? He can't do it on this occasion. He stays in that 7th, but will he switch to the inside line? Is there a gap there? Is there a gap? Will he go for it? If there's a gap, he'll send it. And Race is lost out. He's up and down into 7th as Tamas is into 6th now. Brilliant racing here on these last couple of laps as Marple still leads this Grand Prix, but it's definitely not over for him yet.
Not at all. I fear the alternate strategy from the SRC drivers, Race and Zach Miles, may not have paid off as much as they would have wanted. They knew they had to tyre save going long on those medium tyres, but here this afternoon, they're 2.5 seconds off the lead of the race. Ben Marples could have pulled a strategic masterclass on the F3 grid here this afternoon as we head onto the penultimate lap of racing. Tiers Korsman, Angelo just further behind, and this surely will be your podium unless anything goes dramatically wrong in the next couple of miles.
Let's see what happens here. Penultimate lap, lap 32 of 33, as we watch the Alpines still battling it out for position. But at the front of the race, here we go. Is this going to be T.S. Korsman going for it? He is. T.S. Korsman takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Angelo moves himself up into second, and Linhart is battling with Zach Miles. Oh, that was so close. But where's that RB come from? He's just jumped in between the two Frenchmen, and it's now an RB sandwich. And he is now up into 5th place. He is between Linhart and Miles, and as you said, the two SRC chaps on those medium tyres have just managed to make them work as well as they can, but I think they're really struggling for pace now.
Yeah, I think they absolutely are. The front 6, 7, 8, all these drivers getting involved now as well. And there's a significant gap back down to Thomas Baldry. Of course, that front wing damage really hampering the Williams car through this Grand Prix. But we've got a lap and a half of racing to go as we head onto the third last DRS straight of this Spanish Grand Prix. Will it be a move down the inside by Angelo? I thought he thought about it, as did Ben Marples. Ben Marples down the inside going for the ultimate switchback. Surely he can't hold it on those mediums. Not this time around. But this is going to be a fascinating final lap here, Alex. Take us home.
I think there was some DRS chicken going on there, but it did not pay off at the end for T.S. Korsman. He is going to be a sitting duck down this back straight for Angelo, who's run a brilliant race apart from a few incidents, but he's going to take the lead of the Grand Prix ahead of the McLaren driver. But here comes Ben Marples down the inside as well. Korsman will try and defend it best he can, but he knew leading on that last lap was going to be a problem. And it looks like Tamas has also jumped himself up ahead of Linhart. Race is ahead of Zach Miles as it stands. There's still a little bit of this lap to go. Overtaking is not impossible through this second section. And this is Marples' one and only opportunity to really find it. Linhart still battling for that 4th place. Is he going to fire around the outside? I think those 18 lap old hard tyres have had enough of this Grand Prix. But changing back towards the battle for the front of the grid. This is it for Marples. It's do or die through this final DRS zone. Is he far enough back? Is he close enough to try and go for this overtaking? I think he's a bit too far on this occasion. He's so late on the brakes. But for Linhart, he's somehow made that move stick, and he's up into 4th again. He's managed to get 4th on this final couple of corners. But in terms of the battle for the race lead, it is going to be Angelo. It's going to be Angelo's day here in Spain. And he's going to come across the line now to win the Spanish Grand Prix for Kick Sauber. Ben Marples in 2nd. T.S. Korsman comes home in 3rd with a brilliant strategy. Linhart in 4th. Tamas in 5th. Race in 6th. Miles in 7th. Thomas in 8th. And then it's Kuba, Keanu, Marcel, Rihars, and Yelt and Danielle who ran out your top 14, followed by Larry, how we say it. Danielle and Giovanni rounds out your top 18. But my goodness me, Angelo made that strategy work. Couple of incidents to talk about, I'm sure, in that in the post-race debrief. But you can't fold him apart from that.
Not at all. A fantastic race from the front three. Strategy on the point for our drivers. And I wonder if we'll be able to hear from Theismann in the chat. We said that he's either a genius or it's not worked out for himself this afternoon. And I can't see him in chat so far at the moment. But yeah, fantastic race from all of our drivers to finish off what so close between the two of them. Game gives driver of the day to Ben Marples, and I have to be inclined to agree.
Well, I mean, it has been a fantastic Grand Prix, but there we go. The Kick Sauber winner wins here in Spain, and a congratulating win for him indeed. But again, I think it's going to be a frosty driver's room and possibly a frosty post-race briefing.
Yeah, I think you might be right. Stewards definitely have their work cut out for them this afternoon as well. I certainly wouldn't want to be one of them. But run us through our finishes here this afternoon, Alex.
So our finishes here this afternoon. Angelo wins from 3rd on the grid, followed by Ben Marples, who came from 9th to 2nd. T.S. Korsman came from 10th to 3rd. Brilliant race from him. And then we've got Linhart, Tamas, Race, Zach Miles, Baldrin, Kubo, Keanu rounds out your top 10. And then we got a Marcel, Rihard Sprogis. Disappointing race for him. Yelt, Danielle, Larry, I keep saying Larry, is it?
Larry. I'm not quite sure.
Harry Lowry, Danielle, Giovanni, Harry, and your non-finishers were Gabriel Quinton and Thomas Lamnan. Both Red Bull drivers did not finish. Finished the Grand Prix and had a pretty terrible race overall.
Yeah. Wasn't their Grand Prix to have this afternoon. Unfortunate for the both of them, but I'm sure we'll see Gabriel Quintino and Thomas Laminen coming back stronger next time out. We know they're both competitive spirits when it comes to F1 sim racing, so fantastic stuff to see them race, and hopefully we'll see them back very soon. I wonder if we're going to have anyone in the interview room. I know we've got Angelo in already.
Angelo in there.
Ben will be hopping in very shortly as well.
Cool. I will wait for the others because I tend to like to grab the guys that finished further down. So I'll grab them first. So we'll wait for TS Jones. But what a great race.
Yeah, fantastic race. Not only from a driver's perspective, but from a commentary perspective as well. While we get drivers in, just quickly, who was your driver of the day?
Driver day, TS Korsman.
Yeah.
I think. Doing that strategy from 10th, and actually we can not only congratulate him on winning driver of the day, but we congratulate him on getting 3rd place from 10th on the grid with his alternate strategy. TS, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, mate, it's amazing. I didn't expect this at all. It worked out so perfectly.
Well, it certainly did. Well, let's take us through the Grand Prix. Obviously, qualifying didn't go to plan. As you were saying, you finished in 10th in qualifying, and you're running sort of mid-pack during the opening stage of the Grand Prix, and you make the I don't know if it was you or your strategies made the ballsy call to go for that early pit stop and go for the undercut. And I was saying in commentary, I think that's a really good idea. And obviously, it not only worked because I think it scared the soft tire runners, because you actually managed to split between Race and who was it? Race and Marples, was it? In the end, and yeah, it looked brilliant from our perspective. You had a great battle with them. Unfortunate to lose out on that last lap. You were unfortunately leading, which is never good when you've got such a powerful DRS zone. But yeah, talk us through that race, man. It looked brilliant from where we were watching. Oh,
Have we lost Tears?
Tears?
I think we might have lost him.
I'm going to do my spiel again, aren't I?
I think you might have to do the questions again.
We'll wait for Tears to respond. Hopefully it's not anything bad. Maybe it's just a mic problem.
Potentially, might just be you get that lovely CPU usage when we close the game.
Yes, that does sometimes happen. Yes.
So potentially that.
See if we can have him come back. If not, I'll have to move on with it. I don't want to move on with you two. I wanted to hear what TS had to say.
Nope,
oh, he's gone.
He's dropped back to the waiting room.
Okay, we'll see if we can wait for his. Should I try drag him back?
I reckon we move on.
We move on. We'll get Marples in, shall we? Let's get Marples in. I brought out him in the wrong box. Shit.
Oh.
I put him in the wrong box. My bad. I put him in tier 2.
I saw that.
Shit. Oh. Ben, sorry, mate. I definitely didn't move you into the wrong room. How you doing? Congratulations for your 2nd place, mate. What a race.
Well, another masterclass qualifying,
Yeah, well, P9. That's I tell you, no one that's finished inside the top 3, well, apart from Angelo today, but seems like if you finish 9th or below, you do much better.
Yeah, I'm cooking. Well, the race was great.
Yeah.
I hope you saw all my moves down into turn 4. I was loving them.
We saw every move up at the front. And the whole pack. It was insanity through the entire race. It was another Austria Grand Prix where everyone was like, "I'm just going to be the star of the race at some point." That's what it was.
Yeah, because it was on the hards, and the 2 Saubers ahead of me collided with each other.
Not once, but twice.
Yeah, twice.
I know.
Prix. And then I got a legal overtake on V hards, and I was P1, I think. Well, I was a lead in the train.
Oh.
So I had to drop all the way back to let V hards go. And then I actually just go through the field all over again. I was like, "Oh my god!"
Is that what happened? Is that what caused that carnage on turn?
Yes.
Turn 4. Because we were curious what happened there. Everyone was like,
just going slow.
Go into the same corner, so that makes sense there. But yeah, so you did the alternate strategy. Start on the hards and then went on to the mediums. Did did you expect that to work as well as we did? Because when we saw you guys come out of the pit lane, we were like, you're so close to this pack. We had no idea you were going to be that close.
Well, because we did a test. We did a race strategy practice run, and we basically had everyone going on to a different strategy, and the undercut was not very good. So we were like, okay, let's just go hard, go as long as we can, have the fresh rubber at the end, and try and catch the pack. Um, and then, yeah, I just burned all my battery on my in lap, and I came out right behind my teammates, and I just went through them. And
Yeah, you
then,
certainly did.
yeah, I got ahead. I got the head of the train, and we just started catching up the guys ahead. I think Reese and TS. That's where TS was with those guys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, TS's strategy was crazy. I mean, he pitted so early on those hards and managed to
Mm.
make it work. It was brilliant.
yeah.
But for you, Marples, coming from 9th to 2nd once again in another brilliant race. Coming back from the break, of course, we go to, if I remember correctly, Hungary next Thursday. Are you a fan of the Hungaroring?
No.
Okay,
Well,
so
I'm just gonna take it easy. I think for Hungary. I mean, yeah, I hate Hungary. I'm not very
yeah.
good there. So
Even what if it
probably.
rains? Does that settle
Ah,
the playing field? Does that make it worse?
I love the rain. So
Okay. Well, we'll
yeah,
see what happens then. Right.
Mm.
Hungary has its opportunity to reign. Well, thank you, Marples, for chatting with us, and we'll
no
probably
worries.
maybe speak to you next week as well, mate.
Hopefully, bye.
Thank you, Marples.
Bye.
I really hope I didn't ruin the F2 broadcast by moving those people
I'm sure it'll
into.
be fine.
So we're going to bring in. Are we bringing in Angelo first?
Yeah, bring
Yes.
in Angela, then we'll circle back to TS at the end.
Okay. And we're going to bring in your race winner for the Spanish Grand Prix, Angelo. Congratulations, mate, on your win here in Spain. Bit of a crazy Grand Prix. We'll talk about some things that happened in the Grand Prix, but you managed to pick up the win in the end. Did maybe a strategy that wasn't probably the quickest, but came out on top right on the last lap. So talk us through that race, mate.
Yeah, it was a really chaotic race, as you see, and I had a little bit of contact with Riyard when I went in like P6. I had a contact with him, but it wasn't bad. The strategy, I think, yeah, maybe the strategy the Rise made, soft medium, it was maybe the fastest, but I got trained by Ben Marples, who was in medium, and so then we catch up the group in the front, and then managed to take P2 in the pre-last lap, and then got P1 in the straight on the last lap.
Yeah, I mean that it looked great from where you're watching. Obviously, yeah. Talk about the contact with your teammate. Obviously, you had that first contact on. I can't remember what lap it was, but it was a bit earlier on, and then had that second one when you guys were battling sort of in the mid pack, and it dropped Rehard's down. Of course, I'm sure it wasn't intentional to do, but it's just something that happens in racing, isn't it?
Yeah, he just broke a little bit too late, and I didn't have the space, so I had to go out the track, and I had to give back the position on Riyard, but he went like P5, so I dropped in P6, and then the second contact, I locked the rear, and I go straight, and I didn't leave the space on Riyard, and then yeah, he lost the position.
Well, these things happen. I'm sure you'll have a discussion about it and move on from it. Go on to next week, which of course next week is the Hungaro Ring. You looking forward to the Hungaro Ring, Angelo?
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, good. Do you think you can win?
Mm, I don't think.
Well, we'll find out next week. But thank you, Angelo, for coming to chat with us, mate. Congrats on your win.
Thank you.
And we're going to circle back to Mr. T.S. Korsman, who unfortunately we lost in that first interview. So we're going to bring him back in for the second one. He's now on his mobile device.
Yeah.
Other options of Discord are available. But TS, as I was saying, congrats on your third place, mate. And I was going through, basically, I went through the race thing. We obviously saw that early pit stop strategy. I said in commentary it was a good call. You came out between the two soft tire runners, and obviously you controlled the race from there. Did you genuinely expect to come out as close as you did to those soft runners? Because I think you made them a bit scared because they pitted maybe earlier than they wanted to on those softs.
I didn't expect to be like perfectly in the middle there. But I did expect to be somewhat close, maybe ahead. I don't know. It was all a bit guesswork, but it worked out beautifully because I could just use their DRS to stay with them when they still had fresh tires, and the moment the moment their tires dropped off, I could just overtake them and control the race from there.
Yeah, and it's obviously a shame that you were unfortunately leading on that last lap. I'm sure that's not the situation you would have liked to be in. But you've proven yourself once again. If you can, you want to get that qualifying maybe a bit more consistent, be further up the grid, but you've clearly shown you've got the pace and the strategy decisions to get some good positions. The one question we do have though, Tias, and this is the question that me and TK want answered. Are you related to the other Corsman on the grid?
Yeah, he's my brother.
Okay,
Ah,
good.
We live in the
There we
same
go.
house.
You live in the same house. So
Yeah.
we were curious because he pitted a bit earlier on his hard, and I was thinking maybe you guys were sharing strategies, but I think he had to change his front wing, so I don't know what happened there. But
Um, I'm not sure what happened to him. We did practice together, but we
yeah,
went with different strategies nonetheless. We both knew the hard are very strong, and he thought that it was worth it to start on them, which I don't think was necessarily wrong.
no.
But I'm more comfortable with the undercut strategy.
Well, I think it looked great. Thank you, TS, for coming with the interview, mate. And sorry the first interview didn't go well, but thank you for coming back for the second one.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks.
Thank you, mate. And TK, that brings us to the end of our race day. And that's been another brilliant Grand Prix here in Formula 3. I think we've had a banger of a Grand Prix every week so far, and I've really enjoyed it. It's been good fun.
yeah, we've had some fantastic racing all across the different tracks that we've visited. And bear in mind, this is only round 4, so we've got lots of exciting races still to come in the future as well. And I'm really looking forward to it, seeing how it plays out, seeing who wins the championship. At one point, we thought Rihard was going to run away with this race, and then we saw contact with his teammate, and he finished down, I think, below P10, P11. So that
Yeah.
championship is now wide open. Ben Marple surely has the lead after today.
Yeah, 2 bad weekends for rehards. It can all switch around just at the snap of your fingers. That's what happens. But we're going to call it there for this evening. Obviously, I've been Alex, also known as Devlink, the Chaos Merchant, as I'm going to be probably tagged in the future. That has been the man to the point to the wrong way, point to this way, which is TK, or at They Call Me TK. And for hosting the stream and doing all the good commentary that you do. It's been good fun, hasn't it?
It certainly has. And right back at you. Thank you for being a great friend in the commentary box, and always a pleasure to commentate with.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna tear up. But yeah, thank you all very much for watching. Go tune into Formula 2 and Formula 4, which are going on right now. They're probably going towards their closing stages because we had a little bit of a delay with certain lobby restarts. But go support them. Go get involved. Follow all the socials. Join the Discord. Do all that good stuff. And until then, we'll see you next Thursday at 7 p.m.